Good afternoon, dear students. On 23rd October 2020, for the MA third semester students with opted population studies, I will deal with Karl Marx theory of surplus population. So today's topic is Karl Marx theory of surplus population. So let us start with the background. Dear students, Karl Marx was better known for his political and economic theories, and Marx also came up with a law of population, which we are here dealing today. Karl Marx rejected Malthus' belief in natural laws controlling population, and he believed that capitalism created population growth in order to create a vast pool of cheap labor. This was his concern, and that's why we are here to study the Karl Marx theory of population, because he believed that capitalism created population growth in order to create a vast pool of cheap labor. Okay, so Karl Marx, in his famous book Das Kapital in 1867, rejected the Malthusian theory as complete imaginary and false. Okay, and he rejected the geometric progression, that is population increase, and arithmetic progression, that is means of subsistence theory of Malthus. And Marx and his friend Engels argued that what Malthus saw as the problem of the pressure of population on the means of production actually represented the pressure of the means of production on population, and they viewed it in terms of their concept of the reserve army of labor. So this term reserve army of labor was coined by Karl Marx. And what Marx said about the population growth, that was based on his theory of surplus value. He believed that the problem of population arises only in capitalist society, which fails to provide jobs to all workers because the supply of labor is more than its demand, and as a result there is a surplus population. So the surplus population theory comes by this narration. And that when you define the surplus value, we can say that a surplus arises when the value of workers' labor power is less than the value that labor produces during production. Okay, so this difference is called surplus value, and it is also the time spent working in excess of the amount of work required to reproduce one's livelihood. So surplus value is thus surplus labor time and is the prime source of the profit in capitalist society according to the Karl Marx. And we can see these three circular circles. First is value produced by living labor, that is exactly exchange value of labor power, wage. So up to this was okay, but the problem was that exchange value of labor power wage was low because there was surplus value, and that turned into the profit of the corporates or industries. So this is how problem of population generates in the capitalist society. So according to Marx, there is no surplus population in socialist society, where the means of production are in the hands of workers. All able-bodied workers are employed and there is no surplus labor. This was said by Marx for the socialist society. So there is no need to check the growth of population in a socialist country. So this was concern for country like India. That's why India doesn't accepted the theory of Marx, because Marx also believed that there is no need to check the growth of population in a socialist country. Even China rejected this theory, and China adopted one-child policy in 1960s. So we can criticize Marx theory under this assumption. Let us explain by this graph. x-axis denotes the labor or population, y-axis denotes the wage rate, okay. DD is a demand of labor, SS is a supply of labor, W is a maximum wage, OL is a minimum labor or minimum population. On if there is a OL labor, then the OL labor will get OW wage, maximum wage. That is a very good for the labor class. But if labor will move from L to L1, that population will increase, then the RA is a surplus labor, and then supply is more than demand, and hence wage decrease up to OM. And that is the point of exploitation which Marx used to say. So dear students, DD is a demand curve for labor, SS is a supply curve for labor. As the wage rate OW, that is OW, there is an increase in the industrial reserve army or surplus population that equal to RA. This is RA is a surplus population, okay, and or this is LL1. LL1 is a surplus population, okay. And as the industrial reserve army expands, the capitalists start adopting labor saving machine in order to increase the surplus value and make profit. So this is the theory of population of surplus value created by Karl Marx, okay. When we explain by this graph, you can see trade unions are always for more wages and owners are always for low wages. Example, if there is a 6-hour job, wage will be of 6 hours. But if the capitalist exploit the laborers up to 12 hours, then that excess 6 hours is a surplus value. And this is the absolute surplus value. And we can say that in this situation, there is a 100% of rate of exploitation. So if excess time doesn't create excess wage, that is a rate of exploitation. We can suggest by this graph, okay. And again by this free circular diagram, if there is 8-hour work a day, this is a surplus labor time. Necessary labor time is only 1, and whole black area is surplus labor time. And with that black capital, this is a capital shares and surplus values creates, and only laborers got this much labor share. So the maximum share of the profit is earned by the capitalist, and minimum profit is earned by the laborers. So this is a unique theory of population created by Karl Marx. So according to Marx, the capitalist society consists of 2 basic classes. That is capitalists who own the means of production, and workers who own nothing except their labor power. And when you see this ladder, in each ladder exploits the every steps, and capitalist is at the upper side of the labor. So in the first there is an antagonism, संघर्ष होता है हर स्टेज पर, serf, then there is a lord, then there is a worker, then there is a capitalist. And we can explain by this table the stages of history and class conflict. Then you can see the primitive communism, there is an oppressing class, there is an oppressed class. In primitive communism or primitive society, there is no class is equal to no conflict. Imagine about the first stage of demographic transition. There was a hunter, there was a gatherer, there was no population problem, and there was no class, so there was no conflict. But as development takes place, there comes slavery stage. There is slave owners and there are slaves. And again feudalism, there are landowners, there are serfs. And again in capitalism, there are bourgeois and there is a proletariat. And again in socialism, there was a state managers, there was a worker. And then Marx imagined about the communism where there is no class equal to no conflict. But this is a very dangerous stage, because in there people's dignity sacrifices. There is no choice of individual for their better living. So dear students, we have to learn about each stage, and then let us say that there is 2 classes, capitalist classes and working classes. Working class is more, population is more. And what capitalist class do? they maximize profit and reduce labor cost for their maximum profit. And what working class used to do, they maximize wages for improve working condition. These conflicts always takes place in every economy, and which you can experience in Indian economy also. So thus Marx explains that it is a working population which, while affecting the accumulation of capital, also produces the means whereby it is itself rendered relatively superfluous, is turned into relative surplus population, and it does so to an ever increasing extent. And this is a law of population peculiar to the capitalist method. And ultimate control of population, Marx suggested that he believed that the problem was not primarily one of the population but one of the ownership of the means of production and the inequitable distribution of the society's wealth. So Marx felt that population could ultimately be controlled by the complex workings of market economics, and that the economic market, as they expanded, would be able to sustain population at whatever levels it reached. So this was the Marx ultimate population control theory. And hence we can summarize the theory of Karl Marx by saying that surplus population is the consequences of capitalist system of production that profit from the abject poverty of the masses. Second, the wealth of the country is concentrated at the hand of a few individuals. Third, the demand for labor fails to keep up with the increasing number of job seekers, creating a huge reserve army of the unemployment. Next, the price of labor is kept at minimum because of bargaining power of the fund managers and their profit motives. Next, for more profit, the capitalist introduces labor saving machines and technology. Labor is rendered surplus. And next, with spread of unemployment, wage decline, poverty increase, and capitalists make more profit. So this is always a problem in any economy, in any part of the country. You can witness even now also. So inequality in land distribution, uneconomic land holding, and uncertainty in land tenure, etc., are responsible for low agriculture productivity. So this was the whole soul and summarized part of the Marx theory of surplus population theory. And we can say that no universal population theory is possible. The production process undergoes changes with time, and therefore the theory of population is to be attuned to the demands of the production system. Okay? And the principle of surplus population operates under capitalism. Unemployment is a characteristic feature of capitalism. This we can understand forever, and we should improve our economic theory for the betterment of the citizens of that particular nation. And now at the end we can criticize although the theory of Marxism by saying that this is an unrealistic theory because the concept of surplus value is not even accepted in socialist countries. Therefore, the very basis of this theory does not exist. And again, many criticize by saying that this is not applicable to socialist countries, even in China. The largest socialist country in the world has been faced with the problem of population growth, but it has been trying to control by adopting one child norm. So this is a criticism of the Marx theory. And then technology progress reduces industrial reserve army because in the long run effect, the technical progress is to provide more employment. Hence, we criticize the theory of Marx. And last, Marx does not explain the determinant of population growth like birth rate, death rate, migration, which is the major components of population change. Hence, we could also criticize the theory of Marx with these all points, and then we should attempt this theory for the sake of syllabus, but also, dear students, you should learn this theory for your thinking, your thought for your researchistic area, so that we can also reduce unemployment, poverty, inequality, illiteracy in the country like India, and also we should move for better population policy for the better growth story of the country. Thank you.